Hey everybody, I'm back. It's Mama Goonie time, and I just wanted. It's been a while since I've done a reaction, and I'm thinking that the Oz Media reaction I feel is definitely suited. Um, just so you know that in the stream, there will be some commentary. So if you want to actually see the video without any interruption or commentary, then the link is going to be provided below for you so that you can be able to listen to this stream or video without interruption from anybody else. So this is going to be a reaction. I don't know if I'm going to be going through the whole thing, but if you want to see his video throughout in its entirety without me commenting, commentary. You can if you want to. Okay? I put it in there so that you can be able to see it. So, without further ado, here we go. Just, just a handsome young man. Where did da da da? Where is my doo doo? Ah, here we go. Okay, now this young man over here, right here, here's Oz Media. And apparently, let me just give you a little backstory real quick. That I used to be a huge fan of Illuminati. Was listening was listening to her videos and watching her streams for quite some time. Well, she only put out like a few streams, not a lot, but this young man here, oh my goodness, he's so cute. Look at him, he's so cute. But the point of the matter is that there has been he's going through some trials and tribulations with the Illuminati, and it's going on for like over a year. A year. It's ridiculous. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a back seat on here, but I'm gonna commentate to you. So if you want to see this video without commentary, the link I have already provided for you. But I'm just want. This is my first. Hey there, Witchy Nicole. How you doing, sweetheart? How you doing? But I'm gonna just go ahead and do this commentary, and let's see what is going on. Okay, we're gonna hit it. Go play the bear. Here go.
Here we are. Round two. Blair, if you or your lawyers are watching this, I implore you to at least watch the outro, preferably before June 7th. This is not the monstrosity of a documentary against Blair's actions. If anything, think of this as the prologue. We're here right now because Blair, owner of Pyramid Entertainment LLC, or better known as her public YouTube personality Illuminaughtii, is currently in the process of suing me, as well as other prior employees for defamation and other claims.
Now I just want to point out to you that she was suing him. Uh, she tried to take his home away from him. I'm doing great. Thank you, honey. Love you. Um, and since that she apparently failed at that, she's still bringing him into the court system with random claims. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to what he got to say here. So that's a pinnacle date, like before the 7th. Ooh.
This video, as well as its subsequent parts, will serve as a public record of exactly what is going on behind the scenes. Throughout these videos, I will actively be showing all and any evidence related to dismantling her claims against me, as well as the other parties she's involved in this misplaced legal crusade of hers. Seeing as I know this video will be heavily.
Well, it depends on what he says, Nicole. It depends on what he says in this video. because a lot of this information that he's putting out there is public knowledge. So, what he probably cannot discuss is what is not public knowledge. Public knowledge. Blah. So it's all a matter, okay, that everybody knows that Illuminati is dragging him and several other people to court for defamation of character. I'm just saying that she did that all by herself. So let's go ahead and keep playing. But ooh, you're a handsome young man. The long flowy hair. Hello there, Daniel Barry.
Scrutinized by Blair's legal team, hi, and perhaps even shown in front of a court, also hi, I am fully willing to submit this video and its subsequent parts to the courts as further evidence, as I am willing to stand by these words, as I'm treating this as though I'm speaking under oath. I am also not stating this to add an air of authority to my words, as Blair's legal team has previously proposed. I want the truth known. And to do so, I'm going to publicly dissect her claims within this lawsuit to essentially lay bare my defense, as well as the defense for other
I
parties
think he's
involved.
going to just talk
My
about what
section of
he
the
can
lawsuit will
talk
be covered
about.
in part two, as I'm awaiting litigation privileges before I explore my portion of the lawsuit publicly. Despite this, there is still plenty of information on
There
the
you go.
ongoings in this video. My lawyer is aware I'm doing this. These legal proceedings have been ongoing for the past 8 to 9 months at this point in time. If it wasn't for the assistance I received with the GoFundMe
I
back in
agree with you.
September, I would not have been able to mount a legal defense. Of the amount donated, GoFundMe takes a fee with each donation. This can be seen on screen here with this nice little chart breakdown they provide. At this point in time, which more information can be found as an update in the original
Amazing.
GoFundMe, this lawsuit has cost over $40,000. I've been posting all of my legal invoices for full transparency, and more will be posted soon. The redacted information within them is information subject to attorney client privilege, which also spells out my current legal strategy. This would be foolish to allow Blair's legal team access. This is why the redactions are as heavy as they are, as they include itemized lists of my lawyer's actions throughout the case's initial proceedings.
Talk
Despite
about
how much has been spent so
ooh,
far,
talk
the
about a
legal
young
proceedings are
man
still in
with
the beginning phases.
receipts.
Blair's lawsuit, in my opinion, relies on the misconstruing of facts and utilizes a personally curated timeline, which she has constructed in order to gain the bare minimum standards of having this case proceed. Because I'm exhausted with the, in my opinion, legal shenanigans Blair is currently pulling, this video exists. We will be delving into that timeline and gutting it point by point, as both her lawyers and judge seem to be fully unaware that I am not the real cause of her pain and misery. Blair is. Blair's actions are the reason we are here. And I'll be demonstrating that shortly with a detailed timeline of events before we move into the dissection of her claims. If you would like a full breakdown of every
Oh my God, he's talk about a young man that has his receipts and ready to spill the real tea. Hell yeah. Go ahead, young man. Oh, yeah. He's super cute too. Look at you. Look at that weezy weezy. Oh goodness. It's like, why you wanna hang with a relic like Illuminati that's nearly twice his age? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but uh, you know, he's a hottie patati. But beside that, he is very educated and he has that tone of voice. It's like, oh, let's go.
court filing to date, I would recommend YouTuber Matt Catster. For now, I'll be focusing on what's current and minimizing the 100 plus pages of legal
Madcaster being recognized. Yes. Okay. Here we go.
proceedings down to only what's necessary over the next two parts. For the next proceedings, I'll be launching a new GoFundMe because I have nearly exhausted the prior amounts donated. All donations will be used to defend all parties in opposition to Blair, not just myself. All future legal invoices will be posted as they come from all parties who are in need of the funding. My goal with these uploads, assuming Blair does not
Well, you know something? He's a sweetheart to be able to go ahead and go through all this. It's ridiculous what everybody can see that Blair is the blame for everything that she does, and she's just deflecting it on other people and want to sue them for it. It's ridiculous. No, man. Let's say, hey there, white picket fence.
not take my offer is to not only lay my defense bare for all legal parties to see, but for the online community as a whole. I intend to provide ample documentation to justify to all of you why another round of crowdfunding is being posted. This isn't just for myself anymore. This is also to defend employees that Blair is bringing legal action against as well. If Blair does accept my offer within the outro, I will be refunding the new GoFundMe once all terms are met and the lawsuit is officially over, court filings and all. If you're curious as to why I'm even offering Blair a potential settlement in the outro, that will be explained there, as there are numerous factors in my personal life that I've recently had to heavily consider and prioritize minimizing or even removing causes of stress.
Okay. It's admirable that he is doing this. It's like I I really feel that I don't feel, in my opinion, in my opinion, right off the top, I don't feel that Blair deserves any kind of settlement. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Okay? Nothing. Okay? As a matter of fact, there are hundreds of thousands of people that are sick and tired of Illuminati's shenanigans. Okay? In a bad way. Shenanigans in a bad way. Okay? Everybody did. That's right, Kiki. That's right. Okay, here we go.
That being said, I have no issue, hesitations, or fears in connection to proceeding with this lawsuit. I am confident in the direction things are going, and I just want to offer a path to end this before we're stuck in this for years on end. This will be further explored in the outro.
Okay, here goes the timeline. Now, this situation has been going on already for a couple of years. It's already been going for a couple of years. And she is one of those entitled people, okay, who feel that she can be able to just throw her weight around, and she's got plenty. I can talk. She could throw her weight around and get her way so that she is not to blame for anything that she does. But she is. And it's, yeah, definitely, defamation of character. But, you know, she defamed herself. So we're going to get into it.
As stated in my
There we go.
September update video, Blair and I dated, just in case this context is missing. It was never my goal to make any of this about relationship drama.
Right.
However, despite the actual timeline of events which have occurred, Blair is trying to paint her entire downfall on YouTube as being nothing more than my actions towards her as a jealous ex.
Now, I just want to point out to you, and what many people did not know, that Oz Media and Illuminati dated. We did not know about this. We didn't know about this until all this stuff came out back in April of last year. No one knew. That came to as a shock to me, and I'm sure it's a shock to a lot of people that these two dated. Yes, Kiki, I know. But onward and onward. Try not to get this here extended too long.
I'm not jealous towards your current partner, Blair, only sympathetic. I encourage all.
I think that Blair is about, I don't know, between 10, 15 years older than Oz Media. I'm guessing. Oz is just barely into his 20s right now, and Illuminati is closer into her 40s. But it's just a matter of, this is the way I look at it. She took advantage of a young, naive guy who didn't know anything about finance, the law, legalities, anything of that nature. And he signed documents without having an attorney. He was pressured into it, into signing. And now he's kind of sort of paying for it. So, but My facts are broken, very broken because there's so much in here. So we're gonna go ahead and listen. Okay.
All of you to fact check this timeline as I go. I'm being both as detailed and as quick as I can here because, again, Blair, in my opinion, is actively obfuscating the timeline in her lawsuit in an attempt to paint herself as a victim who did nothing to deserve the scrutiny delivered onto her. On April 20th, 2023, the story begins with a tweet produced by Blair which attacked Legal Eagle for copying her style. Legal Eagle would quickly retort, explaining he had been using these
Seen
standard
that.
practice editing styles, which included standard documentarian effects such as the classic skeuomorphism torn paper effect, as well as the simple action of highlighting text, which all can easily be found as stock templates online.
Right.
In this Twitter thread, Blair had also levied accusations against members of Legal Eagle's team as proof of this copying by showing an editor of Legal Eagle asking for help with how a certain effect is achieved. This is standard practice amongst YouTubers and editors.
Yeah,
Blair responded to
very
Legal
true.
Eagle by deleting
That's
these
not
accusations
special.
and did not provide a public apology or any form of public justification for her actions. This further stirred the pot and made people ask questions. This same day, April 20th, H Bomber Guy would post a tweet publicly displaying an example of Blair copying a documentary herself, although he used the word plagiarism. At the time, I found it incredibly telling that H Bomber Guy had such a specific clipped comparison ready to go that same day, with an exact video. I do wonder if Blair had the same realization that I did, that the only way Harris would have a clip like this is if something major was in the works. Foreshadowing is a literal. On April 23rd, 3 days later, we would see Click post his Twitter thread. I emphasize the 3 days portion because at this
Click is
point,
the other guy
Blair
who
was still
followed
yet to
Sad
address
Milk.
the Legal Eagle scenario, pushing Click, a former collaborator of hers, to publicly distance himself from her to avoid the flack that her actions had been causing for any and all who were at any point associated with her. This is not an accusation. I am just stating the unforeseen cause and effect of Blair's documented actions. This same night, from a bathtub apparently, Wonderstruck, now known as Hi I'm Wonder, would post his Twitter thread detailing his prior dealings with Blair, as well as the harm that he felt he suffered when close to her. I was unaware that Wonder was going to make this tweet. He and I normally are on voice call when he's in the tub. This will be important later when we move into the details of the lawsuit, as Blair claims Wonder and I had essentially masterminded her downfall.
Okay, in my humble opinion, and that says I'm not a doctor, but that definitely displays notes of paranoia, I guess, and arrogance. Okay, so it's I'm just wondering why. Go on.
I didn't know about the thread until I received a now deleted DM from Blair asking me what she should do, followed by several missed calls from her. I wish I had a record of this Discord DM, but by the next morning, this DM would be deleted.
Right.
Because Blair did not publicly provide a reason or explanation towards her actions, and with the emergence of H Bomber Guy, Click, and Wonderstruck's threads, it left Twitter frenzied for answers. Those who were familiar with my connections to Blair, as it was public knowledge we were roommates, would begin to DM me or brigade my life.
Oh, you just said roommates. Roommates. Okay, air quotes. Roommates. Um, but that's what I thought they were. They were just roommates, which is a possibility for male, female to be roommates, but and it's his house, but yeah, she was a humongous slob too, but apparently, allegedly.
Stream chats with questions on the situation. Questions such as if I still supported Blair and if I could provide a reason or explanation for her actions. It was because of users constantly asking me to answer on behalf of Blair, as well as my past colleagues, finally speaking out, that I broke my silence and posted my thread. A thread where I took accountability
Here.
for my.
And we're just going to pause that real quick. And I think it's time to actually speak out on current Twitter threads regarding Sad Milk in 2020 and 2021, which I actually had the opportunity of watching Sad Milk, and it was okay. It was pretty cool. Okay, I cannot express how scared I am to do this. The fear that I have in my gut to even speak out. However, I don't feel it's important to say my piece on this subject matter. Ooh, ooh. And this was as of April 2023. This is last year. Okay, just saying.
Actions in support of Blair and defended the credibility of my colleagues. I posted my Twitter thread April 24th, 2023 at roughly 4 a.m. my time. That same morning, I had this text message interaction with Blair. Please note, it is only because of the current trajectory of this lawsuit, with myself awaiting litigation privileges on these matters, that I am no longer leaving my information redacted, as I had previously intended to do so now 1 year ago.
Ooh.
Blair, Monday, April 24th at 8:24 a.m. So I just saw your tweets, and now I understand why when I called you, you didn't answer. I'm going to take some time to formulate my thoughts, but ultimately, Oz, I hope you really do find your happiness in life. I hope you find your peace, your satisfaction, your perfect black cat, all of that. I'm not sure what you want from an outcome in this situation, but I guess I'll have to figure that out later. Blair, I just want you to realize you've caused pain. You've caused me pain. I don't care about the drama. I just want you to realize how much you've hurt me. I've been doing my best to hold everything in for years now at this point. If you actually did read my thread, you would know what I want. Peace. I just want to be free. I just want to be able to breathe. I have read that you want peace. I thought we were doing better. I wish it could have been something we talked about on our own time instead of dogpiling. I'm left more confused than anything. Well, I assume you don't want to talk anymore. All I ever wanted was for you to realize you hurt me. Not just in the relationship, I do not care about that. You hurt me as a person to my very core. At some point, Blair, you need to see the pattern. Well, Oz, I cared about the relationship too. I cared about all of it. You hurt me as a person too, and ripped everything wide open today. And if doing this all to me helps you feel better, then that's okay. I'll take it. I'm sorry, Oz. I hope this helps you find your peace. Except you aren't. You're going to continue to drag my name through the mud. You're going to continue to be who you are. And that's okay. I just hope that you stop painting people as your weekly villain. It's your biggest flaw and it's always gotten you in the most trouble. It's what caused the most harm. Blair, I'm sorry I ripped everything wide open, but I never had the chance to heal. I never had the chance to feel peace. Instead, I went to therapy and have a PTSD diagnosis. Instead, I gave myself chemical burns because I was too scared to say no. I'm afraid of you, Blair. I'm getting a second opinion on the PTSD. I don't want it to be true, and I don't trust Talkspace to that extent. What the hell are you talking about with chemical burns?
Well,
And this purple portion here is Blair airing her mental health. I'm leaving this censored. I don't want to drag your name in the mud, which is why I'm going to you instead of Twitter or whatever. I would go to an actual doctor. Colorado is tightening down on telemedicine stuff, FYI. I'm working on it. Thanks for the heads up. I would rather talk to you in a phone call, in person, whatever. I would rather try to work on things and work out things over, I don't know, whatever else the other options are. I don't want either of us hurting. I know there is no band aid solution, but I know talking helps. Just for some context, why I didn't take this is because Blair does have a habit of recording conversations. This is evident with the Madison situation from Cruel and Happy Mind. I was fearful she would take my words out of context to suit her narrative. I need time.
listen, Illuminati does that on a regular basis. She has like this uncanny ability to take words and twist them to her favor, painting her as a victim. Look, um, I mean, it's already tough as it is, being not that many large creators on YouTube, being female, but this is not a good look. This is not. Okay, Witchy.
I need to see a real therapist first. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry you're hurting as well. I really am, but I need to start putting my needs first. I will put my needs first too. Good luck out there. Take care, please. Can't guarantee that, but I will be alive. Just so we're clear, that was a joke. Probably a bad one, but a joke. And I'll have the officer remove the bolo off of your house too. I guess I'll be heading down then. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have it in my name either. Just show them any verifiable threats and they'll do it. and this was the last time I spoke to Blair. For additional context, the bolo in question, as Blair described it, was essentially swatting protection. It was a way that if someone were to attempt to swat my home, the officer in question would then look up my address and see that I am a public figure and give me a call before showing up to my door in SWAT gear. Blair removed this protection when I spoke out against her, or at least she claims. I don't know if this actually exists or not.
Wow.
But to me, in my eyes, on this day, after I had spoken out against Blair, Blair removed protections that I would have against swatting. Protections which she did in fact put in place, but had also explained to me what the purpose of them were.
Wow.
There is a lot to unpack here. However, these messages are
Wow.
important as I believe they help demonstrate why I have come to the conclusions I have on her motives. It is worth noting, I am the one who asked for space. I am the one who wanted nothing to do with her. She is the one who apologized and desperately sought out a rapid solution to remove my words from the internet. I finally said no. This same day, April 24th, One Topic would post his thread in opposition to Blair. April 28th, Blair would upload her video, Illuminaughtii Exposed,
I was
which
gonna show
served
that
as a
too.
direct response
That's
to her
her,
detractors.
right
Blair
there.
had taken drama off of Twitter with minimal viewership and plastered it before her large audience for the world to see. In this video, she finally
And I just want to point out to everybody is that she did expose herself in that video. She did this. This was done, performed eloquently by her. And that video is still up. And a lot of people watched it. And a lot of people were disgusted by it. We'll see if we can be able to get more into it later. Okay? Here we go.
showed that she did in fact apologize to Legal Eagle in private. If this was made public, I believe we would not be here right now, as myself and others would not have received questions and pressure from viewers to make a statement. In this video, which is still public, Blair attempted to address the Twitter threads from both Click and Wonder. In doing so, she also used this opportunity to leverage several accusations against them, accusations which she, as it appears based on her actions, had been holding on for nearly 3 years to use at her convenience for an exact moment like this. In my opinion,
in other words, that Blair built herself up a war locker. Now, if anybody doesn't know what a war locker is, I'm sure that you can look it up and find out. But a war locker is basically is a collection of information, receipts, uh, voice notes, text messages, the whole nine. Everything so that if anything were to go down, that's when the war locker gets open and everything gets posted on the internet. Boom. There they go. Okay.
based on what we see from these events, either Blair knew her evidence was a misrepresentation of facts and only worth sharing as a Hail Mary attempt to destroy someone's reputation, or she willingly held evidence of minors being harmed within Click's server and only reported on it 3 years later when it benefited her. I cannot fathom any other reason for the events transpiring the way that they have. In fact, back in 2020, by the way she spoke within her messages, Blair seemed very eager to find an opportunity to destroy Click with this exact evidence. Or to use her words from 2020, nah, I'm not gonna attack Click unless it becomes public gossip or a drama channel picks it up. Then I will nuke him. In this response video, Blair accused Click of
Okay. Nuke him. That's the point of the war locker. There you go. Okay, continuing.
some fairly horrendous things, which he did address in full within his own response video. Now, this is a retelling of well-documented public events which transpired publicly. None of this is new information. Blair also had a chapter dedicated to Wonder where she plastered his mental health for the world to see. Wonder is a former employee of Blair's, meaning that Blair had exposed private and sensitive information, also known as PII, which included conversations she had with his therapist, for her entire audience of, at the time, roughly 1.7 million subscribers. Blair also accused Wonder of mistreatment of his dog, as well as other false accusations that Wonder was forced to address.
Right.
There is, of course, the infamous 3-minute section dedicated to me where Blair is in tears. I have my own opinion on these tears, but I plan to tackle this at a different time, as it serves no purpose here beyond pointing out that, in my opinion, Blair is attempting to leverage private details for public pity, which some people did in fact take at face value and demanded I apologize to Blair on various platforms. This section's cumbersome wording.
This is what happens because Blair, I'm not going to lie to anybody. Blair is very influential. She is very influential and very manipulative, allegedly. So, when she was saying that he did this to me, he done that to me. There's only so many accusations of the A word, you know, A and then use, and you fill in the blanks there. But I I'm not so sure if it's just only her, or is it him, or is it coming from both ends, or that he's just look at this face. He is a cutie pie. But I mean, still, overall, it's it's definitely a sad situation. Very, very sad. So here we go.
Is very particular to the legal side of things that will make sense when looking at her, in my opinion, legal hypocrisy. She played in the mud just as much as everyone else did. I cannot emphasize enough that Blair had taken Click and Wonder's Twitter complaints and negative experiences of her past behavior, complaints made publicly as reasoning for their discontinued association with her after her public folly with Legal Eagle, and would then post a response video where she herself levied accusations against other content creators, which warranted a response to defend themselves against her claims. I understand that to a vast majority of you, this is obvious, but Blair attempts to paint her video as an attempt to de-escalate matters within the original filings of the lawsuit. Ironically, this factual allegation was later mysteriously removed in future.
Yes, I know. Okay, Nima, I know. You two are the only one here, but that's okay. I'm good with it. I'm completely good with it. I'm good with it.
Amended versions of her legal complaint. 34. Regarding the false accusations listed above, Blair made one public post, attempting to debunk the misinformation. She has not publicly addressed the situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. While I have my theories on why this was removed, the exact details are unknown. In her current complaint, there is currently no reference to her ever uploading this video or any of the public comments she's made, making it appear as though she never played in the mud, and her criticisms came from nowhere. Here's a quick search in the second amended complaint to demonstrate this. Wow. This document will be on full display in future chapters within part 2. More on this, of course, when we reach the legal debunking. Sorry to edge you all on like this with this tease, but my point here is that Blair's story has already had numerous revisions, and she sees her video as an attempt at de-escalation. If you recall, among the many other accusations she levies, Blair accused YouTuber The Click of harboring pedophiles in his Discord server. In what world this is a de-escalation, I cannot say. Now, of course, I do believe that Blair is entitled to speak publicly on her personal retelling of events. However, I personally find it to be brash, hypocritical, and even monstrous to then sue those who argue against said retelling of events. Something rocks in glass houses. Following Blair's April 20th video, this would of course follow with a twit longer drafted by Wonder, posted April 29th, in a rapid attempt to defend himself from the multitude of new allegations that Blair had dropped on his doorstep. May 2nd, Click would upload his response, detailing his experiences with Sad Milk as well as what he had personally gone through. Near the end of this video, documentation is shown from an individual who was previously anonymous, which helped provide Click with supporting evidence to bolster his claims as well as to dismantle the many accusations thrown forward by Blair. This individual is now being sued by Blair. His online handle is Felix the Kit Kat. He was a former Discord moderator, later turned manager at Pyramid Entertainment LLC. We will be diving into his portion of the lawsuit later in this video and dismantling the claims Blair has set forth within her lawsuit. It is of my opinion that Felix has been included for retaliatory reasons, as with him being a former employee, Blair had access to his home address and thus the means to serve him with legal papers. Felix is among the individuals who the new GoFundMe will be aiding. May 11th would be the date that Wonder would release his video, an hour-and-a-half long rebuke of the claims Blair had laid out against him, some of which include refuting the alleged mistreatment of his dog, James, as well as being forced to out elements of his mental health. Wonder was forced to relive his trauma in front of the world because Blair, in my opinion, either recklessly and carelessly or purposefully and meticulously included them as attempts to attack his character and credibility.
Oh, damn. Okay, this is what we've been. Woo. This is the tea that we've been waiting for.
To lower the needed public standard of evidence so she could pin him as being a mentally unstable ingrate who mistreats his dog.
Which is awful. Awful, awful, awful. Okay, here we go.
Also made cameo interviews in this video where I spoke on what I witnessed during the time that Wonder was living with Blair and I, giving third-party account to some of the personal stories that Blair made public. My words in this video were in response to Blair's public comments. I will add that as of this video's production, Wonder has not been served by the courts and is currently on the table for dismissal. If he does get served, the GoFundMe will be at his disposal for legal fees as well. This then leads to Blair's infamous posts made to her YouTube community tab and Twitter on May 26th, speaking on how she intends to clear the false allegations that have surfaced against her. Let's actually take a peek at this real quick.
Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is what was in iilluminautie's community post, and also in her Twitter feed, I believe, and it is the exact same message, exactly the same, identical. But here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm fully aware of the recent false allegations that have surfaced. I want to take a moment to publicly state that I am taking these allegations seriously and am committed to rectifying this situation promptly and appropriately. I understand the concerns and potential impact that these false allegations have caused. My team and I are actively working behind the scenes to gather all relevant facts. I am committed to transparency and accountability throughout this process. Rest assured that I am taking decisive action to address this situation. I will provide updates and communicate any necessary actions as soon as possible. Thank you to those of you who are standing by me during this challenging time. I will not allow these false allegations to be weaponized as a way to silence my voice. I appreciate your patience and understanding during this challenging time. I am dedicated to upholding my channel's values and delivering on our commitments. I am confident that the truth will prevail. Sincerely, Blair Zahn. I would like to note that Blair has been publicly silent on her platform for an entire year on this matter.
Yeah.
Blair claimed that false...
She may be publicly silent on her platform. That is indeed true. However, she continued to post video after video like clockwork. Just like clockwork. And for some reason, she's still getting views, which is fine. That's fine. She's still getting views. And, she's still getting revenue from Google, I believe, maybe, allegedly. But however, she had like huge promotions on her. Promotions that she doesn't have anymore. Maybe a couple still, but not anymore.
False allegations were being weaponized to silence her voice, but she has, in my opinion, been weaponizing the legal system to silence further criticism of her actions. I too, Blair, am confident the truth will prevail, which is why I'm actually breaking my silence, because I'm exhausted with playing the game your way. This would follow with the very next day, Blair sending out cease and desist to first Wonder and then later myself roughly 1 week later, June 5th. At this point, and up until September of 2023, I would have only made a single Twitter thread, as well as possibly 5 minutes of cameo time in Wonder's video discussing matters which Blair had previously made public. Between the two
Yep.
cease and desists, we would see one
She
topic
even
release a video discussing his experiences with
put out
sad
her
milk
own
on
name.
June 2nd. His video was made for his audience and acted as more of an open form of communication with those who had questions. It wasn't chock full of screenshots, and he really had nothing to prove. We would then see the release of Swoop's video June 6th, which I was barely even mentioned in. This will be important for the second part. In the following week, specifically June 14th, 2023 at 9:03 a.m., which I would also like to add that these were denied by the court, which is why I had never heard of them until very recently. 2 civil protection orders against myself as well as Wonder were filed by Blair. Blair cites general harassment that she had received as grounds for her civil protection.
But also, I just want to point out that the reason why that I believe, allegedly, why that she has not put in a cease and desist order on the click is because the click is not in the United States. If I remember correctly, the click is located in Sweden, I think. So there's no regulations that she could be able to go ahead and put in a cease and desist on the click, but that video still stands on the click's channel. So if you want to check it out, you can. But if the click was located here in the United States, you better believe that a cease and desist, that he would also will have a court appearance as well. I'm just saying.
Protection against Wonder. Now, I would like to firmly state that if you've ever sent a threat of any kind to Blair, go fuck yourself. I don't want you in my audience or even remotely associated with me. You're selfish and only stroking your own ego while simultaneously hurting everyone involved. But with that being said, I do want to briefly talk about a few details in the CPO ordered against me, which, again, was denied, where Blair accuses me of beating her dog, Casper. I deeply cared for him, and I find this...
Okay, that's not right. That is not right. Oh my gosh, Illuminaughtii. No. Nobody want to hurt that dog. Nobody want to hurt that dog. I mean, I feel personally, in my opinion, a little sorry for that dog. Because that big little fluffy cloud, ooh, wee. Oh, goodness. Yes, it is very difficult to get legal repercussions against somebody that's, overseas. Yep. But, ooh, damn. No. That's dirty. That's creating a scenario for a situation that never happened. Allegedly, this is not true. Playing again.
This accusation thrown into a CPO for sympathy from the judge to be revolting. I also, in my personal opinion, believe that this is further evidence of Blair twisting and manipulating facts, or in some cases, just outright lying. How fucking dare you accuse me of beating Casper after everything I did for you and him, which, in your own video, Blair, you said it yourself, how much help I provided with Casper.
Yep.
There is more squabble listed within these denied CPOs that are just not worth entertaining at this moment. But if you do have more questions on these, I would like to refer you to Vangelina Skov, as she was able to cover these in full before their removal by the original leaker. Moving on from my personal emotions, the terms of both said CPOs are this. Petitioner requests that this court order to delete all posts X has made to social media since April 23rd, 2023, pertaining to Sad Milk, Petitioner, or her social media platforms. Refrain from posting about Petitioner or her social media content on any of his social media accounts or on the social media accounts of others. Refrain from posting in the comments section of any of Petitioner's social media accounts. Refrain from interacting in any way with Petitioner's social media posts. Refrain from encouraging any third party to post in the comments section of Petitioner's social media accounts, or reposting any of Petitioner's original content for any purpose. Refrain from making any videos or media posts about Petitioner. This, in my opinion, was an attempt at a gag order to prevent all future posting on Blair. Specifically, in my opinion, to lay the groundwork for her to begin her lawsuit unopposed with no worry of public retaliation, as well as to prevent any and all future responses from being posted. It is my opinion that Blair had the motives to silence the critics so she could begin her attempt at rewriting the public narrative. the one we will see shortly within the lawsuit. The timeline becomes quiet
Wow.
until July 26th, 2023, where we would see 2 new videos posted about Blair, with their own original stories to tell, one from Cruel World Happy Mind as well as Savannah Marie. Cruel World Happy Mind would detail her alleged experiences with Blair and how, according to Cruel World Happy Mind, while pregnant, she fell subject to a harassment campaign from Blair, and how Blair, in her eyes, actively weaponized a potential loss of pregnancy from how sick the stress made her to silence Madison from Cruel World Happy Mind.
Yep.
Savannah Marie levies accusations of plagiarism, the second person to make this accusation against Blair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where my September video partially begins to come into.
Okay, with Savannah Marie, okay, she was part of a MLM Discord, and Blair would send in allegedly people to find out more about the MLMs that they are releasing videos about. In other words, I mean, a lot of the information is public. It is public. However, you know, it's easier to grab up references that is already there, already researched, documented, and just snag that information and put it into your own video. And that was allegedly what had happened. So, moving on.
Play. Unfortunately, due to the slow crawl of legal processors, I would only be aware of half of Blair's actions at this time. On August 22nd, 2023, Blair began the official proceedings to put my home into foreclosure. If you are unaware of the details on this, please see my September upload titled Let's Talk Illuminaughtii Drama Update. In this video, I explain the details of how I even ended up in this position. This foreclosure process was based upon a debt that I had accrued with her while we were dating. I had no warning, no notice of behind payments, no communication that this would be happening. Instead, I found out from a realtor who excitedly told me my condition of foreclosure and asked to purchase my home from me. What a way to wake up. To further clarify, as I stated in my September video, I was indeed behind on payments. It is my opinion that Blair introduced a payment structure that she knew I would be destined to fall behind on. I, originally, wasn't concerned, as before I foolishly signed those deeds of trust, Blair assured me that the only way she would get her payments was if I paid or if the home was sold. I never took the time to realize that she meant she could sell my home through foreclosure. If I knew it granted her this power, I would have never signed those documents. Again, if this is all new information, please go see my September update video.
Yeah, that, okay. And luckily for him, okay, he got a lot of support. He have gotten a lot of support. He was planning on doing a stream that could last up to about 3 days to even bring up only maybe $5,000. But instead that he was able to raise about $40,000. $40,000 to stop the foreclosure and bring the account to current and have like a leniency. That was really an astronomically amazing. Okay, it's out of the world amazing. And she was going to try and get him kicked out of his own home. Working on it hard. Ooh, it's this this person's a nutcase.
August 29th, 2023, Blair would submit a new set of temporary restraining orders, which were denied, as well as her lawsuit against Felix, Wonder, and myself for defamation and breach of contract. It is of my opinion that Blair timed these events so I could only fight one, the foreclosure or the lawsuit, not both. I do believe that if I did not speak out against her in April, she would not have put my home through foreclosure proceedings. With these actions timed alongside the lawsuit, it does make me firmly believe, in my opinion, it's retaliatory in nature. The restraining orders in question were to, once more, prevent publication of any information on Blair. In this restraining order, Blair directly cites the video I was originally producing as a documentary on her actions as grounds to allow this pseudo-gag order to proceed. Quoting this TRO, here, however, plaintiffs' request for relief will cause defendants no harm because they simply must refrain from publishing what is essentially an online op-ed piece, which they have admitted will lambaste plaintiffs. Should the court deem plaintiffs' claims to be unnecessary, defendants can simply publish their video. Scared of something? Truth being, before we get
Why? Why? Okay. Why? But in all, okay. Um, the just in case you didn't understand, the purpose of the gag order is that so that he can't say anything about her, and she can say everything she wants, so that the justice will lean in her side and not his. So guess what? He basically said, fuck that shit. Okay, I'm letting it all hang out. And honey, he did.
get into more details, Blair could have easily just responded, but the silence and sudden bombardment of legal speaks volumes, Blair. Because please remember, at this point of her filings, I'd only made a public Twitter thread and approximately 5 minutes worth of cameo time in an interview in Wonder's video. I would not be made aware of the lawsuit or legal filings until September 27th, more than a week after my September video was published. I had elected, out of respect for the legal system, to remain silent until now. It's
Right.
not that I'm lacking respect for it with the publication of this video, I'm lacking respect for Blair and the escapades she's elected to throw me into. The legal proceedings have been grueling, from a mix of anxiety-laden sleepless nights to curveballs that throw off my entire day. It can be very difficult to live a normal life when every day is filled with stress and anxiety. Every email notification laced with dread. It's exhausting. And this video exists because I'm tired. The lawsuit starts with the service in late September, roughly a week or so after my September upload, specifically September 27th. I would be in and out of calls with my lawyer, going over the facts of the matter, looking over everything I could, and providing as much evidence as possible. Unfortunately, I can't just drop a folder of evidence on the judge's desk with a solid nuh-uh and walk away. A shame, really. The inner workings for how the legal proceedings have gone so far are mostly publicly documented by the creators previously mentioned. If the time comes, I will explore the full timeline of the lawsuit, including Blair's attempts at settling this lawsuit, grotesquely in her favor.
Yeah, she wants money. She wants money. Lots of money out of you. Okay? She saw the 40K. She saw the 40K and she wants to stick her fork into it. Okay, I don't believe that she deserves a penny of it. It would have been better, and in my humble opinion, she would have been better off just says, hey, I'm sorry, okay, but let me just go ahead and go about my way and leave things as is. But no, she decided that it's a good idea to needle, to push, to spread false narratives, allegedly, and then make herself the victim of everything allegedly. Allegedly. Whew. I don't know about you ladies out there, okay? But being, that I ain't this young man, the way how he speaks gets me warm. Okay, here we go. I'm warm. I said warm.
For all parties involved. But for now, I'm leaving these be. Once you make it to the outro, my reasoning will make sense. During the proceedings of this lawsuit, H-Bomber Guy would upload not one, but 2 videos covering Blair's prior acts of plagiarism.
Yep.
One being a 40-minute section within a 4-hour-long, 20 million view video, as well as an individually uploaded 20-minute video with over 3 million views focusing exclusively on Blair.
Yep.
More people are aware of Blair because of H-Bomber Guy than they are for any of the other drama-related reasons surrounding her. This timeline will be extremely important for the following chapters. Again, I implore all of you to double check, as I was only focusing on videos related to the lawsuit in question, as well as all and any first-party sources. This now leads us to Felix.
Felix, sweetheart of a.
Through the last 9 months, Felix and I have been wading through the murky waters of a lawsuit Blair has set forth.
Mhm.
If you're unfamiliar with the nitty gritty of the legal proceedings at play and still don't recognize who Felix the Kit Kat is, again, this is a former Discord moderator for Blair turned employee at Pyramid Entertainment, the leading plaintiff, in this lawsuit Blair has hoisted us into. As of the time of writing, Felix's motion to dismiss was denied, and he will be proceeding through standard legal proceedings with Blair. I will be going into the specifics of the judge's order shortly, and to firmly clarify, the judge is not connected to or well educated on the YouTube space, nor the drama which has transpired. He is doing his job and acting according to the documents provided in front of him.
Right.
More on this soon, as the legal system is far more complicated than an episode of Law and Order may lead you to believe. As a reminder, the lawsuit isn't even out of the starting gate. This could turn into an exhausting fight ahead of all of us, and is far from over for those of us who are directly involved.
Which is a damn
It'll be
shame,
my
because
purpose
that
here to present Blair's claims
bad.
against Felix, the counter towards them, and why I feel these claims were created in bad faith, as well as going over why the judge made his ruling the way he did, as, in my opinion, it helps to shine light into Blair's legal strategy at hand. Referring back to the timeline provided earlier, on May 2nd, 2023, YouTuber The Click, a comedy and meme channel, this will be an important distinction for later,
Yeah.
produced his response to the April 20th video, Illuminaughtii Exposed, where Blair had levied multiple allegations of misconduct against Click. Click responded to these accusations with a third.
He used an R slur one time. Okay, one time. About a decade plus ago, when English was not his native language and did not know the meaning of the word. I'm so over what people say, the R slur, the N slur, and all that. Okay, look, it's not something to destroy another person's career over. Now, a Karen, bury a Karen. But I mean, and in my humble opinion, and that's all it is, Illuminati is a Karen. Illuminati is officially a Karen. Congratulations, girl, you're a Karen. Oh, let me go back here. Okay, hold on.
30-minute response to an 8-minute chapter within Blair's video, thoroughly, in my opinion, clearing his name. I would also like to give the information specifically in this case to Blair and her lawyers that I did not reach out to Felix nor had contact with Felix since his departure from Pyramid Entertainment LLC until April 24th, where Felix would initially reach out to me, as seen here. He would later reach out once again shortly after Blair's public video, where he felt that Blair had improperly retold events, as Felix was a direct witness to what had transpired with Click. Felix, of his own volition, wanted to help set the record straight on information unrelated to the operations of Pyramid Entertainment LLC. Within Click's video, the final chapter includes screenshots from a redacted individual. This individual in question was Felix the Kit Kat. In these screenshots, Felix provides documentation of Blair offering him $200 to sift through prior Sad Milk recordings to find evidence of Click using the R word. These screenshots in question are what Blair is suing for defamation, as well as breach of contract. What is not included within this lawsuit, however, is the screenshot evidence provided by Felix of Blair owning the alt account that was created to harass Click, as well as his cohorts in 2020.
Yep.
Take this information as you will. Blair is willing to sue over a DM showing her paying one of her, at the time, Discord moderators $200 to dig up dirt on a prior collaborator, but Blair is not suing about the disclosure of information about owning an alt account to harass other YouTubers. Take that as you will. The claims against Felix the Kit Kat listed within the lawsuit.
And I just want to point out to you that when he dug up that information, that is before that he was contractually obligated to Pyramid Entertainment. Before, he was not an official employee. As a matter of fact, a Discord moderator is a voluntary job that you don't get paid to do. You did it because you enjoy the entertainment and you respect the owner of the Discord, which, in my humble opinion, from what I'm seeing, the Karen badge. which, in my opinion, um, is not does not it does not make him an employee. So if you dangle a couple of $100s on a person that is financially a little bit out of the ways, okay, he's gonna do his best to obtain that $200 and get paid. He found what he wanted, presented it to her, which is actually her property, part of her property, because Sandmill was a collaborative, and used that against the clique as part of a warlocker. Again, warlocker. Yes, I know. YouTube. Yeah, YouTube mods are not paid there either. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, then you're not getting paid. I love you, but I love you though. But I'm too cheap. Welcome back, Nima.
Are as follows. If you want the drama attached to the individual filings, you can visit Madcaster's channel where he's broken down each filing for the layman, as well as Vangelina Skov and more recently Tamimi. Up first, as claims against Felix, whose full name will be censored using orange. Defendant Felix is a former employee of plaintiffs. As a note, his employment began at or around the time of May 5th, 2021. As disclosed in the factual allegation
Right.
number 18, Blair states defendant Felix signed a confidentiality agreement on May 5th, 2021, signed the Felix Agreement, which all employees are required to sign as a condition of employment. 63. Felix is in violation of this Felix Agreement by turning over private messages between himself and Blair to another YouTuber, Mark Dreck, to exploit in a YouTube video made to slander plaintiffs. This video is available at the YouTube link and is titled Illuminaughtii and Sad Milk. The video was not produced, as Blair stated, to slander plaintiffs. This video, made by Click, was in self
Right.
defense from Blair.
Right.
Felix came to the aid of someone defending themselves. What Blair has done in this lawsuit is completely remove any and all instances or references of her public statements to make it appear as though any attack against her is slanderous.
Yes.
Please recall the previous removal of factual allegation 34 from the prior version of the lawsuit. Again, 34. Regarding the false accusations listed above, Blair made one public post, attempting to debunk the misinformation. She has not publicly addressed this situation further in an attempt to de escalate it. Once more, mention of this no longer exists within the lawsuit. The screenshot in question happened November 10th, 2020, nearly 7 months before Felix's employment under Pyramid Entertainment. The NDA should not cover private messages unrelated to Pyramid LLC. It appears to me that Blair.
That's right. Okay. Hey there, Pyramid Karen. Hey there. How you doing? Who's that? I left. Well, I appreciate you. Okay, there, Nima. Mwah. There, you lost that loving feeling. Yeah. Going back.
is attempting to claim that every conversation she has ever had with an employee throughout all of time, even matters unrelated to Pyramid Entertainment, are under NDA. These DMs were in specific relation to a group collaboration channel known as Sad Milk, which included the likes of Damian Lee, Flinders, Hi I'm Wonder, One Topic, The Click, Salty, and myself, and of course Blair. Sad Milk is operated as a different corporate entity with its own distinct EIN, known as Web.
Now, I just want to point something out to y'all. I just want to point something out. Okay, isn't it interesting that Sad Milk was only have one female in Sad Milk? She could have brought in other females, but you know, it's if she is not the queen bee above all the guys that she is, ooh wee. If she's not the queen bee, holy macaroni man. Well, yeah. Well, oh yeah. And then, well, these guys, well, you probably would have heard of Illuminati first. Okay, you would definitely would have heard of Illuminati first because on her channel, okay, she didn't promote anybody else in reference to Sad Milk. She did not promote. I don't think that she really promoted Sad Milk at all, and she had the platform to boost up the subscribers and make Sad Milk huge. It would have blown up, but it's only just her, okay, and a bunch of guys. So, um, and slowly, okay, Sad Milk had potential of blowing up, but she just plain not sharing the revenues of that, and she's not really putting in her best effort into Sad Milk. Sad Milk could have been really cool. I've heard of the Click. I have, and he's funny as hell. You should check him out. He's really sweet. And Oz Media, oh goodness. Okay, we're looking at him right now. Okay, hot boy. But back. Okay, we're halfway over.
Red Sox
Great.
LLC, which is a sibling company to Pyramid Entertainment. Both are owned by the same umbrella company that holds my debt. If any argument were to be made about this being work contributed by Felix, the actions taken were not in service to Pyramid Entertainment, but instead Wet Sox LLC. However, there was no employment contract or NDA attached to these actions in service to Wet Sox.
Nope.
The files in question are related to old audio recordings of Sad Milk videos, not Pyramid. It is also important to
Right.
point out that these actions in question were not, to my knowledge, normal company practice to specifically target employees who were low on money to dig up dirt on prior collaborators of Blair's. Then
Right.
to pay said employee with a PayPal transaction. To further add, Click was contracted talent for Wet Sox LLC, as Blair herself demonstrated at 11:14 in her own video, where she briefly shows on screen the Sad Milk Entertainment contract, which she refers to as the agreement. I would also like to add that if this was official company business, there should be a documented 1099 form or other specific documentation to show the payments to Felix are properly documented for specifically Pyramid Entertainment.
Right.
After talking with Felix and being shown his TurboTax filing from 2020, I can confidently state neither this 1099 nor any form of company documentation exists to specify this payment as being directly in service of Pyramid Entertainment. As of this time, we only have a PayPal transfer listed as video review. Mind you, there are no PayPal transfer fees attached to this amount. PayPal takes a fee for business-related transactions. This can range widely, but the common fee for a company transfer is 3.49% with an additional 49 cents per transaction.
Yep.
This means that this transaction is most likely listed internally with PayPal as a friends and family transfer, as before July 28th, 2022, it was possible for a business PayPal account to send money via a friends and family transfer. This transfer was made in November of 2020, nearly 2 years before this policy change occurred. To me, in my opinion, based on the evidence I have in front of me, this appears to be an under-the-table task assigned to him with no documentation of how that money was categorized, with the payment being labeled within PayPal as friends and family, similar to paying your neighbor's kid to mow the lawn. And on top of that, the assignment was specifically in service to Wet Sox, not Pyramid Entertainment LLC, and specifically involved prior contractors, Click, of Wet Sox LLC, not Pyramid Entertainment. In my eyes, I see this as Blair retroactively changing the events of 2020 to fit her narrative within the lawsuit. The simple truth is, this conversation was held November of 2020, and he was hired May of 2021. Blair is trying to claim that these were company communications and has framed it as such to make the lawsuit stick. Factual Claim 64. Regarding these messages,
There we go. We're going to go ahead and take. Woo! Holy smokes! As you are on fire! But yeah, wow. Jeez. In other words, that she tried to place that $200 fee that $200 payment as a company expense, making him an employee, which is not the case. It is not the case. Not just like, paying the kid $5 to shovel your driveway. Okay, you just pull out the $5 bill and the kid shovels the driveway, and that is the end of that transaction. It is not a company expense, and she is trying to place it as a company expense, and it was not taken out of company funds to make this expense. Otherwise, that, yes, whenever that you get paid out, even in a casino, or if you want a cash prize, or if you receive payments from Google, okay, you will receive a 1099 or some sort of documentation as a receipt of funds that has been transmitted to you. This was not the case. She basically told this guy, "Here, I'm going to give you $200 to shovel up some shit for me." That's the deal. That's the beginning and end of that. And she's trying to say that he's an employee. He was not an employee. He never got hired until like a year later. So, whatever transactions that occurred prior to him being hired is not applicable to now in 2024. It does not work like that. Is it? Uh, basically, that's right.
Defendant Felix edited selectively picked messages to create the appearance that Blair made statements that she did not. He thereby created a false narrative that was damaging to the plaintiffs. Felix, when the lawsuit was served to him, more on why that's on air quotes later, posted on Twitter informing the public of his circumstance, while also providing the full context of the screenshot in question, which provides no room to argue for cherry picking, as Blair has argued in her suit. Blair does later in this suit confirm the validity of these screenshots by stating she cross-referenced them in her own DMs. But in my opinion, the full context here makes her look worse. These messages were provided to help clear a former collaborator's name of accusations brought against him by Blair. Here's the full context for those DMs. Blair sending a message at 11/10/2020, 8:57 p.m. Hey, are you still short on rent? Rent, no electric and phone. Yes, I am at -$2.
Yeah, this is not new. This is not new. Check the dates on that. 2020. Okay, and this guy was not an employee. He was a mod in her Discord. Not an employee. He was a volunteer. Difference.
Right now. No idea what I'm going to do for lunch tomorrow, but I'm at the fuck it, I'll figure it out phase of my life. Blair, I have something for you, but it's a little tedious. I mean, my life is nothing but tedium, so I can do it. I need you to work with blank to help me find click saying the R slur in Sad Milk's raw audio. I can do that. Let me get a shower and I'll be down. She claims he said it in a Sad Milk video, but I can't remember which one, and she's over her head with shit. I'll pay you $200 to find it. Yep, just hand me the files and I can get started. $200 will help quite a bit. The portion redacted here is a link to a Google Drive. There's that file
Right.
and a file in the file. Most will have Discord calls, and I think it happened within the first 10 minutes. I'll check the whole recording to be sure, so I'm looking at all 4 folders. Just go into the published file. The very next day, Felix would receive payment from Blair for, quote, video review, end quote.
Mm-hmm.
As a reminder, within Click's video, this was the screenshot originally shown. Now, the next few sections are nearly 50 points down the line and highly segregated as we enter into her claims of relief. The other skip points and
Yes, a YouTube creator, I agree, is a job. That is correct. But this guy was not an employee. He didn't, if I remember correctly, he didn't do much in terms of creating anything. Okay, and until recently that I found that he is in fact a creator, but he does not get at the time that many views at the time in 2020. So he kind of, grew a little bit, but he kind of stepped back. So, but that's still not a job. Uh, who paid him? Um, who paid him was Illuminati. Illuminati did. Illuminati paid him. But it wasn't coming from a company funds. It was not documented in any of the, what I think he said, in QuickBooks. Okay. It's more like something straight out of her pocket into his. Boom.
Involved myself as well as Wonder, who was never formally served in this lawsuit. Starting with the seventh claim of relief, defamation per quad, as to defendant Felix. 108. Blair and Pyramid hereby incorporate the previous paragraphs by reference as though each were fully set forth therein. 109. On or about May 2nd, 2023, defendant Felix published a public Twitter X post from one of his Twitter X accounts, @FelixTheKitKat. Now, I believe this is a clerical error, as Felix did not tweet on any of the days surrounding May 2nd. I believe Blair is referring to this tweet in question, made November 23rd of 2023. 110. This statement implies that Blair committed the tort of abuse of process, alleging A, an ulterior motive for the use of a judicial proceeding to retaliate for defendant Felix's post-employment actions, B, the willful use of legal proceedings in an improper matter, trying to force a
Yes, I understand that they still have to claim it, but I have a strong feeling that she perhaps did not. Yeah.
default judgment without properly serving defendant Felix. C, damages, an impending default judgment against defendant Felix. 111. These statements are false, and defendant Felix made the statement with negligent disregard for its falsity. Process server, redacted,
False.
signed a declaration that she served defendant Felix on September 26, 2023, at his place of abode, handing the required legal documents to an individual matching defendant Felix's physical description. Felix was never directly handed papers. Instead, the papers were delivered by mail to an address he lives 2 hours away from, at a claimed time while he was just getting off of work, 2 hours away from the stated address. The papers were never formally handed to Felix. Felix's sister found an envelope in the mail with regular U.S. postage labeled to Felix on or around October 6th. This directly opposes the processor's claim of directly handing it to Felix. What I find interesting is that this appeared in a mailbox with postage and was within a standard mailing period from September 26th. Yet, there are claims of this being handed directly to Felix. These papers would have been delivered to Felix's stepfather's home within the official legal filing September 27, 2023 at 6:40 p.m. This address is not his usual place of abode, which is even distinguished, despite the redactions I've made, by not being the address given for Felix in the very lawsuit Blair filed. At the time of delivery, Felix would need to drive nearly 150 miles an hour directly after his shift at work to be at said address in time to receive the papers from said processor. While it's not much, Felix has provided me with screenshots of him speaking with his girlfriend about arriving home at 7 p.m. after work.
Right.
To reiterate, Felix was never formally given papers, despite what the processor claims. Instead, they were mailed to his stepfather, and a proof of service filing was made. The argument of us theorizing that Blair was trying to get a default judgment against Felix comes from the fact that after the service attempt, nearly every day afterwards, Felix would check in with the Colorado courts for an official proof of service to be filed, so he could begin his legal battle. However, proof of service was not filed until after the time required for Felix to respond. When papers are served, a response is due within 21 days, but 35 days for out-of-state parties, within Colorado after service. So this would have been either October 31st or November 1st, depending on if the day of service counts towards the allotted time. Proof of service was not filed with the courts until November 17th, more than 2 weeks after, meaning that Felix would have defaulted. Even my lawyer was caught off guard by these actions. Plaintiff's attorneys filed a proof of service on Felix today. The service was back in September. Not sure why they're just filing the proof today. Felix's answer should have been filed by the end of October based on the service date. Allegation 112. Defendant Felix's statement caused special damages as evident by the fact that plaintiff's revenue from videos dropped by more than 95% after defendant's tweet/X was published, from $74,646 in the
What
period of
the?
November 23rd, 2022, December 23rd, 2022, to $2,751.72 during that same period a year later. Blair is listing a drop of revenue from a specific date period and ignoring the fact that her revenue had begun to decline far before then. The official date,
Agreed.
April 20th,
Perjury.
2023, is when we can see the first damage being done to her subscriber count. This is also the day she levied accusations against Legal Eagle. And then, of course, following her upload of the Illuminati exposed video, the viewership damage is fairly evident, especially in the following weeks where she saw a rapid decline. I find it to be personally dishonest to claim that Felix's GoFundMe tweet was responsible for the drop in revenue reported, as there had been a long-standing consistent drop of revenue for each month prior. Not to mention, of course, in that date range, this includes the H Bomber Guy videos, which had a collective 23 million views between the two of them. 113. Blair suffered non-economic and special damages, as explained in paragraph 112 of the complaint, as a result of defendant Felix's publications in an amount to be proven at trial. I can only assume this is her talking about the general backlash and emotional turmoil this situation has thrown her into. Again, as I'm sure
Pain and suffering, guys. It's called pain and suffering. Oh gosh. No, she is not suffering any pain or any suffering. Mm-mm.
I'll be saying this thousands of times, if you send threats of any kind towards Blair, you're worse than her. Again, the damages Blair is suffering is of her own doing. The only reason any of us are in this position is because of the actions Blair initially took on April 20th, 2023. Eighth claim for relief, defamation per quad as to defendant Felix. 114, Blair and Pyramid hereby incorporate the previous paragraphs by reference as though they were fully set forth therein. 115, on or about May 2nd, 2023, Mark Deck posted to his public YouTube account, The Click, a video titled Illuminaughtii and Sad Milk, which contains screenshots from defendant Oz and Felix intended for publication by Deck, available at YouTube link and timestamp. I also just want to add that Click's name is public. 116, the Illuminaughtii and Sad Milk video displayed a redacted screenshot of a Discord conversation. 117. Upon information and belief, the relevant redacted portions obscured the username Felix the Kit Kat, the username of defendant Felix. 118. Upon information and belief, Click is Mark Dreck. It's actually Mark Deck, and he's pretty public with this. It's the name of his public music channel, after all. 119. Blair asked Felix to find Mark Dreck, saying the R slur in Sad Milk's raw audio. 120. Defendant Felix then asserts that Blair, though she publicly disapproves of the R slur, uses it in private. 121. This statement carries a defamatory meaning because it implies that Blair is both a hypocrite and a bigot. Her words, not mine.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Because nobody said that. Well, to tell you honestly, they felt uncomfortable in speaking freely around Blair, Illuminati. Okay, they they did not feel comfortable in speaking freely about her or opposing her. And I'm gonna just tell you right now, okay, what Oz Media is doing right now is really brave. It's truly brave, really strong, very brave. Okay.
122. Defendant Felix published this statement with negligent disregard for its truthfulness because he concedes that he has no proof to substantiate his claim. In 2020, Blair had revealed to me that she had used a service to scrub her Twitter of all and any inappropriate or cancelable language that she may have tweeted. Evidence of this can actually be found by the fact that there's a massive removal of tweets on a single day shown by her Social Blade. I had to purchase a Social Blade premium subscription to get this data down to the day as shown. However, as I've come to learn, that service that Blair used to mass delete tweets doesn't scan media or screenshots. Blair famously went after Click for using the R word 14 years ago. Blair at one point has stated that the word...
Look at this. Okay, now, just so that you guys are aware that, and I'm just going to remind you, what's out on the internet stays on the internet. So you may scrub your Twitter profile till it's like nothing there. Guess what? If it's on the internet, it stays on the internet. And oh, this is what I was telling you guys about when it comes to the R slur. Here we go.
It has never been in her vocabulary, and that even with 10 years of time, it's inexcusable that he would use this word, despite this being his second language and being the early 2010s, and America's cultural exports use this word frequently. Family Guy, South Park, Black Eyed Peas. Blair can be seen in this
Yeah.
using the exact word in question that she condemns and damns others for using. Only 3 years prior to her stating, that word was never in my vocabulary.
Bull.
According to Blair, even 10 years is inexcusable.
Bull.
Link to the tweet below at the bottom of the description. One of the reasons Blair is suing Felix is for defamation because of a DM where he claimed that Blair has used the R word in private. Well, here she is using it in public as an insult. Now, personally, I'd like to keep the R word discourse out of it. The main focus here is the hypocrisy at play because it's plain as day. I actually think that Blair's lawyer put it best. Because implies that Blair is both a hypocrite and a bigot. 123. Defendant Felix's statements caused special damages as evident by the fact that plaintiff's revenue from videos dropped by about 50% after defendant Felix's defamatory statements were published in the Illuminaughtii and Sadmuck video from $37,981 in the period of May 2nd to June 1st, 2022 to $19,274.85 during.
Okay. Now this is what I'm just gonna share. And a lot of people are already aware of that this is a YouTube thing. That if what you earned last year on YouTube is not proof or a reflection of your potential earnings this year on YouTube. The payment structure changes, fluctuates. It all depends on how many views that you receive. And also, for her to be able to get that much money, okay, it's not just because of her videos. It's because that she was promoting products on her channel too that pays her as well. So, yeah, I really don't think that 30,000 is a real number directly from YouTube. I think it's in combination to her promotion and sales. Also, yeah. And I'm just going to show this to you guys here real quick. I'm going to make it real quick. Don't worry, okay? It's not going to be long. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead and put the camera on here. Yeah. Meow. Meow. What I'm showing you is Illuminautti's candle company called, was it Knobs and Vesta? Here it is. Oh, this is not gonna. Okay, and it's it's a scented candle. I do plan to use up this candle as much as possible so I can recycle the container. Okay. So she's also receiving, and this candle, and I bought this on sale for, I think it was like $30. Not bad for a handmade candle, I guess. I guess that's about right for a handmade candle. But I bought this thing on sale. The original price for this candle is like $65. Way too much. Way too much money. Okay, here we go. Back to
during that same period a year later. 124. Blair suffered non-economic and special damages, as explained in paragraph 123 of the complaint, as a result of defendant Felix's publications in an amount to be proved at trial. The economic damages in question, again, are not solely caused by Felix providing those screenshots. Blair is seemingly electing to avoid mentioning that at this time. There are far more factors at play. Thankfully, the timeline provided earlier helps cleanly spell this out for any parties watching who are unfamiliar. The only way that I can read Blair's current filings, in my view, is that Blair appears to be purposefully misleading the judge to try and paint the situation of her being unjustly attacked for no reason, and excluding any mention that she was, in fact, the initial aggressor.
Okay, here we go.
This brings me to the present where we are now. After Felix submitting a motion to dismiss, which argues that the lawsuit should be essentially tossed, the judge ruled in Blair's favor for the lawsuit to continue. Matt Katster has some great videos diving into this and going over each party's arguments. I don't think we have the time to sit down and go through the nearly 20 plus pages of documents arguing case law in relation to this suit just for Felix. I will point out, though, from what I could see, Felix's lawyer took the route of trying to argue the claims itself and the legal standing, as I'm unsure if, at this phase of the suit, if facts can be presented in argumentation of a case's legitimacy, as both defendant parties, mine included, have forgone including the nitty-gritty facts of the matter and instead focused on tackling the claims on their merit to stand on their own and utilizing case law on the matter to challenge the arguments at play. However, it seems that Blair was able to eke out a temporary victory with her presentation of the claims. First and foremost, the judge is following procedure as his duties describe according to Colorado law, which outlines that plaintiffs be given, in my opinion for this specific case in question, an unreasonable amount of benefit of the doubt. Even if Blair has a fraction of a percent of a chance for her claims to prevail, the courts must hear them out beyond a motion to dismiss.
Right.
This is my understanding of the law that the judge has put as his reasoning, which, while frustrating, I understand. This is not the judge blatantly siding with Blair.
No.
This is him doing his job. As quoting, dismissing a complaint only if it appeared beyond a doubt that the plaintiff could prove no set of facts that would entitle him or her to relief, the trial court still accepts all allegations in the complaint as true and views them in the light most favorable to the plaintiff. However, facts pleaded as legal conclusions, i.e. boilerplate or conclusory allegations, such as those that merely repeat the statutory language, are no longer entitled to the presumption that they are true. They must be supported by specific factual allegations sufficient to raise the right to relief above the speculative level. Simply asserting a legal conclusion, bereft of any supporting factual allegations, does not state a plausible claim for relief. Viewing the amended complaint in the light most favorable to the plaintiff, the court accepts that the portion of the YouTube video referenced in paragraph 63 and 64 of the complaint is the same as the one displayed via screenshots in paragraph 116 to 20, which has the same link. It shows Blair instructing her employee, Felix, to help me find Click, a former employee and now competing YouTuber, saying the R slur in Sad Milk's raw audio, and offering to pay him $200 to find it. Sad Milk is a YouTube channel created and managed by plaintiff Pyramid AMC Para 10. So, as we've discussed, and a quick rundown.
Yeah. For one, okay, at that time when she made that request, Felix was not an employee. Felix was a volunteer. Okay, here we go.
Felix was not an employee at the time.
Yeah.
The work was not done for Pyramid. The income provided was a gift. The work was done for a separate LLC entirely, if she so chooses to argue that line of thought. Click was also never an employee. If he was, why isn't he being sued? I'm going to show an excerpt from the second claim of relief, which mostly pertains to myself, which is why it isn't fully delved into earlier. However, it reads as follows. 73. Upon information and belief, defendant is in breach of these arguments by sharing screenshots of company communications with defendant Oz, intending that he use the screenshots as part of a campaign to damage plaintiff's reputation as stated above in paragraph 63, Illuminaughtii and Sad Milk at 2413. Defendant Felix has further established his intent to post additional content which will harm plaintiffs in a devastating manner. Blair within this lawsuit is specifically painting these communications as being directly related to company communications, when they were not. I also did not organize a defamation campaign against Blair. She threw the mud first. The judge continues. Again, viewing the amended complaint in the light most favorable to the plaintiff, these allegations arguably state plausible claims for breach of both the NDA and the Felix agreement. They arguably state a plausible claim for breach of the NDA in that they plausibly allege that Felix, without permission, shared with a third party Pyramid information about company operations, as well as information regarding an individual's involvement in Pyramid operations. They likewise arguably state a plausible claim for breach of the Felix agreement. They allege that Felix, without permission, shared with a third party confidential information for the benefit of a third party. The confidential information
God.
disclosed is not,
God.
as Felix's counsel suggests, that Blair uses the r slur in private. That would be a private matter rather than the company business. Rather, the
Right.
potentially
True.
actionable conduct by Felix was his disclosure of internal company messages and operations, namely that Blair is instructing her employee to find potentially damaging information about a competing YouTuber.
Again,
Click that the
not an
information about
employee.
internal company messages and operations was allegedly disclosed through co-defendant and fellow employee Oz to Click for use against Pyramid and Blair. I would like to reaffirm that Blair did state in points 120 and 121 that she uses it in private is a defamatory claim. It is my assumption that because of how much information is thrown around in the complaints, whether purposely or accidentally,
Yeah.
has led to it being harder for all parties to follow her cattywampus timeline of misery.
Well, the thing is, though, is that Blair, Illuminati, didn't think that she would have any type of retaliation because of the cease and desist order that she put on them. So, in other words, she can throw all the mud on the planet, but she expects none in return. Sorry, Blair, Illuminati. Sorry, it just doesn't work like that. No, not in reality, not in this world, not in this plane, not on this plane of existence. Mm.
Felix's lawyer, with everything else to argue, and from what I could see, did not assert Felix was not involved with Pyramid at this time. This is not a knock against Felix's counsel, only an observation to help explain more factors which would have left the judge to provide his ruling. Also, again, Felix provided evidence to counter a, in my opinion, false narrative Blair was spreading about a prior colleague. Felix reached out to me. Felix was slated for an interview in my original video, and I can only assume Blair pieced this together and would be paranoid about the information he had to tell, leading him to be directly included to the lawsuit as an attempt to muzzle him in what he had to say. This is a personal theory of mine that I've come to due to the facts that are in front of me. If this were false, she could easily prove the public narrative wrong. Instead, she's opted to take the legal route in an attempt to use her finances to crush her opposition. What I also need to stress is that the video which Felix would have been a part of would have fallen into the category of a journalistic piece. No different than what she structures on her channel. I suppose in her eyes, it's fine when she puts others under the microscope, but not when others do the same to her, even for her actions outside of Pyramid, which wouldn't be covered under NDA. Blair instructing her employee to find potentially damaging information about a competing YouTuber, Click. That information about internal company messages and operations was allegedly disclosed through co-defendant and fellow employee Oz to Click for use against Pyramid and Blair. While disclosing such tardy information to a competitor may not be a violation of the Uniform Trade Secrets Act, it could plausibly be a violation of the agreements that Felix signed as it disclosed to a competitor the internal operations of a company whose business arguably involved trolling for clicks and bringing down its competitors. As the complaint alleges, large amounts of money were at stake. This shows that the judge is under the impression, due to the information that Blair provided, Felix was an employee at this time, despite the evidence we discussed prior. The judge is under the impression that Click was a competing YouTuber. This is why I stressed his content type being comedy and memes, as well as him being a prior colleague of Blair's. Click is not a direct competitor and does not occupy the same space or venue of YouTube that Blair does. In fact, Blair has done such a tremendous job at muddying the timeline and obfuscating her actions, it seems the judge is entirely unaware that Click's video was in self-defense against her accusations, and Felix was providing Click with documentation to defend his image from the heinous pedo-jacketing attempt that Blair had committed. Blair has successfully been able to rewrite history in the initial phases of this lawsuit to fit her narrative and present herself as a YouTuber who was unjustly attacked out of nowhere by vindictive employees.
Now, I'm just going to let you guys know, okay, the genre that the Click is in and the genre that Illuminati is in, okay, they're different they're different parts of YouTube. Okay, you have your commentary, okay, which is, commentary, investigative, blah blah blah, investigative commentary, uh MLM exposing videos. That's Blair. The Click is comedy. The Click is more gaming, comedy, separate genres. Okay, it's almost like uh, talking about cosmetics, okay, and then say, hey, here's a cast iron skillet, okay, different genres, okay, they're not, there may be on the same platform, yes, but the type of contents are clearly different between the two of them. So for Karen, I mean Blair, to call the click a competitor, she really doesn't have a hypotenuse triangle to stand on. Just saying. Uh, Moving on.
And the reality is that Blair went on the attack with accusations so profoundly, in my opinion, fucking stupid, where, and I'm repetitive on this notion, not for the audience, but for the legal reasons, she accused a lawyer of plagiarism. H. Bomber Guy countered with her examples of plagiarism. While I cannot speak on the intentions of others, as I have stated, I spoke out to defend my prior colleagues as well as distance myself from Blair because I was receiving Discord messages and stream chats frantically asking, or in some cases demanding, that I make a statement on Illuminaughtii, and if I supported her attacks on Legal Eagle because of my prior association with her. When people distanced themselves from Blair
Wow.
and spoke on their own personal experiences, she
Mhm.
retorted with a 40-minute long video full of accusations and ammunition that she had been holding on to for nearly 3 years. As stated in the intro,
As I mentioned, the Warlocker. Yep. That's when she breaks out the Warlocker.
the new GoFundMe being launched will be utilized to not only come to my legal aid, but all other parties in opposition to Blair. This, of course, includes Felix. His legal invoices will also be posted alongside mine as this case progresses. If Blair declines my offer in the outro, there will be more updates pertaining to this.
Woo! Here's the outro that we've been waiting
Here we are.
for.
The outro, per se. As I mentioned earlier, I'm making Blair an offer, publicly, to put an end to this. To any questions beforehand regarding the new GoFundMe, if Blair does accept this offer, I will be refunding it in full, as I only plan to utilize that funding if she decides the lawsuit will be moving forward. Because of this, however, this does mean that for the next month, I'm on the hook for my own legal bills. And as of today, this is going to be a rough month, as this one's out of pocket, so it looks like it's the mini wheats diet for me.
Yep.
If this lawsuit continues, I know that on my end, I could be looking at anywhere from $4,000 to possibly $10,000 monthly, as seen by this invoice for the last 2 weeks. The reason for this potential settlement offer is that I'm not thrilled at the idea of spending a majority of my 20s, possibly the next 2 years, stuck in legal litigation in opposition to Blair.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be able to live my life. The stress from the lawsuit, the foreclosure, it feels nearly never ending, and I'm tired of waking up in the middle of the night, stressed with chest pain and dread. I'm tired of dreading every email notification. The legal system is exhausting. But while the legal and foreclosure stress have been very present and constant in my life, even with the foreclosure ending in December, it's not the only reason I'm considering this potential settlement agreement. In my personal life, there is an ongoing source of both grief and stress and factors that I'm still trying to process and have been unable to process because of everything going on around me. With keeping details sparse out of respect for my partner and with their approval, we've had to deal with the heartbreak of a miscarriage throughout all of this.
Oh
Its
my
occurrence was unexpected, and because of the day-to-day stress of the lawsuit, we've been unable to process, heal, and move forward from this loss.
Oh my God.
We've had to shelve these emotions and push forward, and it's been hard on both of us. And I just want the opportunity to heal with my partner in peace. And which is why I'm even considering giving Blair this settlement. I ask that you respect my privacy of myself and my partner until such a time that we are comfortable making details known.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this for Blair. I'm doing this for my partner and I's future. If Blair doesn't accept the following offer, let alone negotiate, so be it. I have no problem with continuing forward. I have no problem with continuing to pursue this until the end, as I do not fear the outcome of the case, especially after the judge's recent orders. More on that if/when part 2 is released. My settlement to you, Blair, would allow you to follow the morals that your channel has advocated for, or in your words, be dedicated to upholding your channel's values and delivering on your commitments. Or, as this handy video you uploaded a week before you sent
Oh
out
my
cease and desist
God.
states,
When something as horrible as this happens, people always come out and admit fault and tell the horrifying truth of their continued negligence and malpractice, right? Yeah, you're right, that never happens. What am I thinking? Instead, they usually do their best to hide everything and blame anyone but themselves, and wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happened here too.
My settlement offer is for you to drop the lawsuit, for all parties involved. Even Wonder, with prejudice. I won't file counterclaims and would no longer be required to upload the second part to this video. And what do you get?
Ooh.
A chance to prove your side of the story, or even take accountability for your actions. If you proceed with this lawsuit, by the time that it's done, especially with what's left of the judge's order, there would be no platform for you to return to, as you still need to answer for not just me, but for everyone else you've harmed on this platform. It would be difficult to return to a platform with a label that you hypocritically participated in the very business tactics
Oh my
that
God.
you've reported to be in opposition of for the past 4 years. I'm offering you a chance to clear your name on a third-party neutral platform. Think of it as a conversation. Rather than use the corporate tactic of bullying those who speak out against you, why not prove you're different from them? You've previously stated that you feel as though you dumb down your language too much and you allow people to fill in the gaps that don't actually exist. So here's your chance. Prove everyone wrong. If you're interested in going the route of proving publicly why you're in the right, to argue for your platform's right to existence, a discussion where all topics would, of course, need to be known by both parties beforehand. A lawsuit that'll drag on for the next few years will not clear your name like you hope. If anything, it has only further damaged your reputation, Blair, especially because you're suing the two parties who have publicly said the least. And I know you know this. No PR firm in the world could save you if you continue this lawsuit. Even if you did win, from what I've seen, you would just be seen as a bully who abused the legal system. You could also use this opportunity that I would be giving you to take accountability. The rough outline that I'm proposing, and I am open to negotiations on these terms within reason. Plaintiff must dismiss all claims against all parties with prejudice once amicable terms are set forth. Plaintiff and myself will agree on a third party who we both independently trust to host a fair conversation. Their responsibility will be to ensure that each person is not spoken over and is given a chance to clear their mind. Plaintiffs may also take
To tell you honestly, okay, Blair is not going to let that happen because she has a really allegedly bad habit of arguing and speaking over people. She would not be quiet for anything.
this time to take accountability for their actions instead if they wish. Legal fees of either party will not be sought out, and this will be taken for the loss that it is. I can provide no personal guarantee in either circumstance that you, Blair, would be able to repair your public image or reputation. That is up to you. However, I am giving you the opportunity that your lawsuit will most certainly not. I would be open to additional terms being presented within reason. This settlement offer must be accepted, if at all, by a communication in writing delivered to my lawyer not later than the end of office hours June 7th, or it will be withdrawn without further notice. If my lawyer does not receive a response by the end of office hours on June 7th, I will assume that you've declined this offer, and I will proceed as planned with legal proceedings. We are open to negotiations within reason. I am only giving Blair this settlement offer because of the events which have occurred in my private life. If she declines, so be it. I have no qualms with proceeding with part 2.
Woo! Damn! Oh, Lord. Woo! Okay, number one, and this is just an opinion. This is just an opinion. Karen, Blair, has dug herself into a really big, deep, dark hole. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to her reputation, she destroyed her own reputation. So, in turn, she really doesn't have that much to lose. And also, I mean, here, let me just go ahead and pull up. I'm just going to pull it up. But, oh my gosh. Okay, and I'm just want to show you guys. Okay, here.
Whether you're looking for a
And no, not
relaxing escape from daily
to
stress or
advertise
seeking to relieve
ads.
pain,
I don't want
incorporating
a massage
therapeutic
from a
massage.
strange person. Okay? I'm just gonna show you guys real quick, okay, that um he is streaming right now. Here, there he is. Look at it with the cat ears. It's so cute. But okay, so if you guys, if anybody out there who would like to go ahead and donate to him
See, I
for
know I'm
his
doing the
cause
loop,
for
but
the
I just gotta
legal
figure out where
fees.
the hell the exit to
And he
station
said that
is.
all legal fees will be refunded to you if Blair, Karen Blair, Karen there, takes this offer. Okay, here, let me take it down. Leave you a like right there. And yes, I'm subscribed to him because I think.
Motherfucker.
Oh. Wait, me scared. Me scared. Okay.
No.
Stop sharing. No. Be scared. Be scared. Okay. But okay. But he's a gamer. Yeah. He's a gamer. He is not a competitor to um he is nowhere in anywhere, shape, or form a competitor to Karen. He is not a competitor. Well, you know, he has like 416 people watching right now, and what is it? Fees out of pocket. Oh goodness. Uh, let's see. He's already over goal. He's already over goal, but because that this Karen, Illuminati, okay, whatever, okay, is still. We'll find out. We'll find out on the cutoff date. The cutoff date is, he said, is on the 7th of this month, which is a Friday. So I'm gonna keep my ears to the ground and see if she actually gonna come back and say, well, okay, I'll accept your terms. We'll see. We will see. But in the meantime, support this young man. I mean, my gosh. I mean, his partner lost, you know, a baby over the stress that that does. No, Blair's not a gamer. She is not a gamer. I'm sure that she plays games. Oh yeah, she plays games. Okay, but not video games. But I mean, I would joke about her wanting to braid. I would, I, I would braid that hair too. I would go ahead. I'm not much of a braider, but I would braid that hair. Okay, I mean, the young man's hot. Okay, and I'm so glad and happy that he's trying to move on with his life. Okay, with his mate, and also, I mean, after a miscarriage, it's difficult, it's complicated, especially that it is a stress, and they're stressed, they're mourning, and it's horrible. And well, you know something, I'm just say, the other what is it, Happy Mind. Okay, she was pregnant too, and she was in danger of losing her kid too. She didn't care then. Why would I say that this Karen Blair cares now? Why and where could I say that she would care now? Sorry, but a leopard don't change its spots. Oh, it's just cover it up in foundation and makeup. But let me just take a look at one more thing. Just one more thing. Yeah. And I'm gonna be going into the danger zone. Oh God. Okay. And I just want to show you something. Care Bear don't care. Yes, Karen Bear don't care. She don't care. But I would like to show you guys this. This is what I find to be uh, incredibly interesting. And yeah, I used to be a watcher of her video. Yeah, but now it's like it just got me so sick in my stomach. I mean, do I have a high ground now? I don't know. Do I feel that I I can't. But I'm just gonna show you this here. Now I'm gonna make it big for you. Ah, it just covers it. Okay, this channel. Yeah, I used to watch her. I'm still subscribed, but I am just so disgusted by this person. It's just ridiculous. She had almost 2 million subscribers, and now she's down to 1.2 million. And here, let me just show you something. This video was released 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Here we go. Okay? 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Let me just show you what actually happened. Instapot don't explode unless you don't know what the F you're doing. Who puts it? I used to watch her on a regular basis. But look, okay? She had like, 400K, 100K, 200K views. Okay, this is a year ago. All right? 500K. You know, this one here, 900K. She used to have huge views. Huge. I mean, truly huge. And now, okay, and this is the her biggest video seen yet. It's right here. 1.2 million, and that's a year ago. And it's here for you to view. Everything that you saw him said is in this video. It's there. You can see it right now, currently. And look at it. The views went down and down and down. Look. She has sponsorships. Sponsorships are gone. Look. 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 Look with your eyes, not with your hands. Look. Look. And I just want to show you something. I'm going to show you something. I'm
Tempo.
real quick. Shut up. Look at this. Can't even comment on her channel anymore. She has all the comments turned off. Yes, and by the way, I've watched Jones Watchman. He's awesome. But the comments are turned off. She hasn't posted in 3 months. Okay. You're you're not supporting her actions doesn't mean that. Yeah, I, I don't want to say that I'm taking a high ground on anything. I'm just disappointed. Okay, I don't support her actions. Okay, I'm not even involved in this scenario. The only person that made this public first was Karen Blair. She's the one who made this whole drama public. She did this. She started the whole thing. She got the whole thing, the wheels rolling. Okay? If she wasn't after this other YouTuber about, copying her style, guess what? We wouldn't have come to here. everybody would have been oblivious to what was going on behind the scenes. I don't know, maybe eventually it might come up, maybe later on, and maybe it might not be quite as impactful, and maybe that Oz may not have lost his baby. Hashtag blame Karen. Hashtag blame Karen. But I I don't believe anybody is completely innocent except for the click. I think the click is pretty innocent in all of this. He made a mistake. English is not his first language. So he didn't understand the R word is a bad word. Okay. As a matter of fact, back then it was commonly used that you throw that word around like it's whatever. Okay. It's a whatever word. Okay. And people got more aware and sensitive to what they're saying. And so did the click. And he already apologized for that. So I'm not worried about that. What I am concerned about is that Blair does put out cease and desist on a regular basis. And to tell you honestly, okay, and this is what I'm thinking, okay, she hasn't posted anything on here in 3 months. I seriously believe that this is not her only YouTube channel. That she started off fresh with a brand new channel. No, no one knows, just under a different name, uh, different style, different type of content, and she all of but abandoned the Illuminati channel. Insane. I would give her a thumbs down, but that's still interaction, so it's nothing. So, that being said, okay, I think that I'm just gonna go ahead and shut down. Hey, 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 hey. Maybe I'll go and watch somebody else's stream. Huh? 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 Yeah, it's just how it was. Yeah, Slur, it's just how it was. I have been educated on it, and I'm thankful for the education, and I never used it again, ever. There are several words I've used. I never used it again. I become more sensitive and more conscious in the words that I said, and I feel I'm a better. I feel better about it. That makes any sense. He is probably done. You think so? I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for bed myself. So yeah, I gotta go ahead and go do my job. Okay. Thank you everybody for coming and checking me out. Okay. So you and yeah, you probably already know who I'm talking about, huh? Huh. Look at that. Go sneak a peek at like his stream. I think he might be gone by now. But I really do thank you very much for coming around and and just be safe and be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and if you could support that hot boy, please support that hot boy. But in my final words, and I'm out. Karen Blair, Illuminati does not deserve a single penny, not a cent. Not everybody. and I'm out. Whee!